Hi everyone, it's Jody from An Eye for Beauty, and today's Sunday, August 15th, 2021. And this message is for the week of August 15th, or whenever it is that you are listening to this message. As always, remember there is always something in the message that you need to hear for your highest good. Today we are working with the Soul's Journey cards. And these cards help us to see what we are learning, what lesson we are learning at this time. And we have 3 cards that I pulled out. So we always have card 1, card 2, or card 3. But what I wanted to see for all of us is collectively, choose your card, but collectively as all of us humans, what are we learning? Where are we at right now with everything that we have been experiencing? So decide if you want to go with 1, 2, or 3. And we're going to start with card number 1. And card number 1 is pride. And the card says, I love myself and I see myself in everyone. So pride, another word for pride is ego. And we are all going through this process, and it's important to take notice as you go through different obstacles or different experiences in your day. Are you sitting in a place of ego, or are you sitting in a place of, I was going to say service, but what I wanted to say really was spirit. Ego or spirit. So let's start with spirit, because spirit is basically being of service, and that's another card that came out. It says, I feel good when I can help others. Being of service to others, doing something, even if it's just walking in the store and giving someone a smile, waving to somebody, being kind to somebody, saying something kind. That's being of service, because when you bring that light through you to somebody else, you might brighten their whole entire day just by doing that. Maybe do that today if this is what you chose. That is being in your spirit, being of service. Being of ego is basically more prideful. And if you think of Leo season, which we are in, the lion is the sign of Leo. And it's important to determine, are we in our ego? Are we looking to be prideful in the egotistical way? Or are we looking to help and serve others? And if you think of the Lion King, think of the 2 lions, the 2 brothers. One lion was humble and was of service and was helpful and kind. And then the other lion, I don't remember their names, but you know who I'm talking about, was the one that was bad, the one that was working with the hyenas. And he was always in his ego. So a lion can go either way. And when you're going through something, it's important to determine when you're in your ego is loud. Your ego is going to take whatever it is that is, what am I trying to say? That is, you're going through right now. So if you're full of fear, that ego is going to get so loud. And that ego feeling is going to drive you. That fear is going to drive you. And it's going to cause you to make decisions that if you weren't sitting quietly with yourself in your spirit, you might not have made if you took the time to go with it. The other thing about ego and spirit is that when you are in your spirit, your higher self, and you make a choice, the choice you have made is one that feels good, is one that makes you feel light. You know you did the right thing for yourself. You went inside intuitively and you knew that whatever decision you made, you knew it came from your higher self, your spirit. Whereas if you do something through the ego, then it's heavy. Then you're constantly questioning it, because truly your inner voice is trying to speak to you, but the ego, the pride is so loud, it's getting in the way. You can't hear what the spirit wants to say. So moral of this story for card number 1 is take notice when you're making choices, when you're making decisions, what is driving them? Is it the ego, the pride, or is it the spirit being of service? And that's card number 1. If you chose card number 1, you probably have to look at that. because you're probably being driven more by fears through the ego than by the higher self, the inner voice that is trying to get in touch with you. Which leads us into card number 2, which is worry. And it says, I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. What are you worrying about? Think about it. Understand that the most important thing when you go through worry is exactly what we talked about in card number 1. It's coming from your ego. It is an illusion. It is not real. Now, of course, there might be things that you are sincerely worried about, and like the world stuff, and you're having a hard time with it. But when that happens, when it becomes overwhelming, it's important to stop, pause, think about it, speak to someone you trust, try to work through it. But most importantly, when I talk to you from a higher aspect. I'm talking to you not on surface level, not like it's called 3-dimensional way of being, living on this earth. I want you to look at things from a higher perspective when I'm talking. And when you're in worry, you are in the ego. The ego is being overpowered by all of this worry. It's controlling you, basically. And when this card is coming up, what it's saying to you is, at the end of the day, you're not even in control. God is in charge. God is in control. So when those worries become so loud and so overwhelming, can you pause and say, you know what? I need to step back. I need to surrender. I need to let go and let God. That's what that saying means. Truly saying, you know what am I worrying about? It's not like my worry is going to change anything. Turn the worry into prayer. Start praying to God and sharing with Him what it is that you are worrying about. Asking for support, asking for guidance, asking for the worries to be taken away so that you no longer have to carry them. And I wanted to pull another card. Understanding that challenges are the best way for you to learn. So looking at these adversities that are causing you to worry, and instead saying, I'm learning something from it. I'm not going to continue to worry constantly, because I know that I'm learning something from what I'm going through, and this too shall pass. Now, if it's the world stuff that's going on, it hasn't passed yet, I know. And it looks like it's never passing. But this too shall pass. And in any cards that I've ever pulled, I always get the card, all is well. All is well. So it may not look that way right now, but one of the things we are supposed to be learning here is patience and having faith and trusting in each of these processes that we are going through, whether it's this, whether it's this, whether it's all the other stuff that's going on, the climate change, whatever it is so important to try your best to step out of worry and step into prayer and give yourself more patience and give God the patience so that He can do whatever He needs to do, whatever He's showing us in His timing versus in our timing. Because we don't know better than Him, He knows better than us. And that's card number 2. And then finally, it's like a puzzle that we just put together. God wants us to accept what is. And it says, I'm learning to accept the things that I cannot change. I'm going to go back to worry. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. So I'm learning to accept the things that I cannot change. Why worry? It's not going to change anything. Because I am learning that worry doesn't change the outcome. So what can I do? I can surrender. And that, what does surrender mean? Accept. Accept what is. I know things don't look good right now in our world, and I don't know what's going on in your life, but you could feel the same way. But when you come to a place of acceptance of what is happening right now, in this now moment, in your world, it like lightens the load. It allows you to go, okay, I accept what's happening. I don't like it, but I accept what's happening because I know that there's a greater reason why this is happening. And when you're able to do that, you're able to say, it's going to be okay. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to make it through. The biggest thing is the resistance to the acceptance. When you could get past the resistance to the acceptance, then you can move on and move forward in more of a positive way. And let's see if we have one more final thing to share with regards to this. And then finally, the card is death. And don't get nervous. It doesn't mean someone's dying, because we're talking about this virus, and that is what's on everybody's mind. First thing I want to say is, why are you afraid of death? Death is transitioning to God, unless you don't believe in God. But understand that the word death is not just about passing on. The word death is also about an ending. Things are ending so that new beginnings can happen. Things will never be the way they were in the past. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but we're transforming. And we're transforming into this new beginning. And how are you going to create this for yourself? Because you are, what's the saying? You are the, I can't even think right now, the creator of your own world. I don't know what it is that I wanted to say, but that's what's coming up. You are the creator of your own world. So what do you want to create? Do you want to bring in fear? Do you want to bring in the ego? Do you want to bring in worry? Or do you want to say, you know what? It doesn't look great right now, but I'm going to accept it. I'm going to pray versus worry. I'm going to sit quietly and start listening to my inner voice, my higher self, that is trying to guide me, talk to me, share with me. And I know that I'm learning, and through this experience, what is no longer serving me will die, meaning the idea of what is not serving you will go away. And then what will happen in return, is that you will have a whole new beginning. So I hope that this message served you. It was a little all over the place to bring it all together, so I apologize, but we got the gist of it. I wish you a great day. Bye-bye.